Sometimes the best leadership happens when you step away for 10 minutes.
This is Back in 10.
Welcome, everyone, to Back in 10. I am Jen.
And I'm Savanah.
Your saucy Bostonians here to talk to you about onboarding excellence.
Onboarding. Don't leave your team high and dry.
Mm-mm. Don't throw them to the wolves either.
Oh, yeah, no. Because
Yeah,
we know that they can be wolves. Not necessarily the team, but the patients can definitely be wolves to a new team member. Because they don't know.
Blood-sucking vampires. Yeah, no, absolutely. I was thrown to the wolves, I will say, on my first permanent hygiene job. I did not know the software, and I had a first patient the first time of the day. That office never did onboarding like that again because I said not going to happen. So then I made an onboarding plan, which
Beautiful.
Everyone needs.
Everyone needs an onboarding plan. But you know what is the precursor to an onboarding plan? Is to have all of your practices SOPs in order, because your SOPs drive your onboarding plan. So before you say, gosh dang it, I'm going to create my onboarding plan today, you have to say to yourself, oh, Nelly, do I have SOPs completed? If you don't,
or better yet, say, whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly.
Oh, my goodness.
SOPs need to get completed, don't they?
Ooh, well, clearly we are slap happy. So welcome today. I think with that, there's actually a few AI tools that you can use to help with your SOPs too. I have used Scribe before, which is great. So it actually shows you every keystroke, every mouse click, and then you can go in and edit it. Super, super helpful. You can export it to any type of file format that you want. Highly encourage you to keep those live so then you can change them so you don't have to recreate them too. It should never be a printed document because things change and then you have to do it all over again. Ask me how I know.
Jen, how do you know? That's for another episode, right?
No, I'll just say quick, like I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know, right? So I said, you guys don't have an onboarding plan and clearly you need one because this was very difficult. So I made one. I was a hygienist and just made one. I made an onboarding document and it changes, everything changes all the time. So just it's better to keep it electronic so you can make updates and then go from there. Yeah, but absolutely. SOP.
And your team should always have access to the onboarding documents all the time. Not even if they're not onboarding, but they've been there for 10 years. You can put that, if a lot of practices are on cloud-based, put it in a cloud. Make it a shared folder if you need to. Or if you're super fancy, nerdy IT like myself and Jen, you can have a landing page where your team logs in every day and they look for important messages. And more importantly, they have access to these documents
all the time. I have to say that was one of the biggest things that I brought to my current employer, to Inspired Hygiene. We have an intranet that I made and it is amazing. And I can just say, here, this is where it is. And you just have just a PDF clickable document and everything is linked behind it. So it's like a table of contents and then they just go to where they need to go. Super, super easy.
And it's important to remember that not everyone has the same learning style. So when you're onboarding a new team member, you really want to find out what is their learning style. Are they somebody who likes to read instructions where Scribe would come in and follow numbers 1 through 10? Is that how best they learn? Or is your new team member more apt at following instructions better with a video? That's where Loom comes in. Or, hop on your Zoom and record a video, or use your cellular device and record a video that way and upload it in tandem with any written documentation too. It's always very
Mhm.
beneficial to have it both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then once you have your SOPs, that's part of your onboarding plan, right? And I think one of the big things, and a lot of the payroll companies can help you with, is all of your HR documents, right? All the documentation and everything that you need to collect. But I think the two things that people often forget are your medical emergency protocol and evacuation plan. What happens if there's a fire? Everyone knows where the exits are, right? Show everyone where the exits are, but where do we meet? Where do we go? Think about it like a school fire drill. Like, where do we go? Where do we meet? If it's the tree across the street, and have it written and have it in your break room, have it posted. That's another thing too for safety issues, for safety, everything, right? Audits and all of that stuff. But go over medical protocol. Go over what happens. Do you have a word that you say? Do you do something different with the lights? Like, make sure that you're communicating that with your new team members.
Mm-hmm. And you really should have a yearly review of all of your medical protocols and evacuation protocols with the entire team during
Mm-hmm.
a team meeting for sure. You could have had,
Absolutely.
the outside landscaping could have changed. So instead of taking a right outside of the door, you now have to take a left and go down a hill.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be surprised how many people in a state of emergency divert back to plans from 10
Mm-hmm.
years ago as opposed to the newest plan right in front of them.
Yeah, it's so important. So every time you have a new team member, you review it. And then once a year, always review it. Or if something changes, just review it again. It's better to be safe than sorry, right? I think some of the other things that are really important is taking the time to allow that team member,
To get their bearings.
to get their bearings, like to get comfortable in their new space.
Yeah.
Understanding where the equipment is, where the instruments are. If it's a hygienist, like setting up their drawers. If it's a room just specifically for them, like go to the dollar store or go to your favorite box store and buy some little drawer organizers for them. You would be really surprised at how much, like, spending $5 for little drawer organizers will make them feel really welcome.
And if
I
they're
will
at
say.
the team, give them a stipend or a gift card to make their space, their desk,
Mhm.
feel like theirs. That goes a
Mhm.
long way too.
Yeah, or get them a notebook. You can get them a little notebook and some really nice pens, because everyone loves pens, right? Maybe it's a pen with your office logo on it. Like, get them some nice pens. Yeah, see, just get
I
them some
love
good
playing with
pens. Yeah, just let them make their space theirs without drilling holes or putting holes in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That I will say, yeah, no. I think that
I mean, for me, I guess that's where we differ in that. For me, it would depend on what you were planning on putting on the wall, where on the
Mhm.
wall, and if your role in the practice. If
Yeah,
you
it's
had
a
your own,
conversation.
yes.
It's Yeah, I've seen some very eclectic displays in my years.
Keep it professional,
And
folks.
yeah, but, like, man, I've seen some operatories that there's so much stuff in the wall, there's more holes than in baby Swiss. So, you know.
I absolutely agree with you on that. Clinical areas and treatment areas need to have a unified decorum.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah,
A lot
it's
of
just
my
a
team,
conversation.
my team, this was a came up as conversation many a time where we're in this room 8 hours a day. How can we make it feel more like our space? And one of the hygienists had a brilliant idea that when she opened the cabinets, like, you had free reign inside those cabinets. So she was
Mhm.
there for a very long time. Every cabinet was just her through the decades with her family. So anytime she opened her cabinet, she could just look at her family and think, haha, yeah, and shut the cabinet. It was great because it kept with
Yeah,
the uniformity of the
yeah.
practice, but also gave them the ability to have some space.
Yeah. I actually have a friend that is a hygienist that I used to work with. And the office that she works with, her boss had someone come in, a muralist come in and painted a mural on everyone's operatory wall of all of their favorite things. So for her, it was a whole round. It's actually near you, where you live, actually. I'll tell you about it. She loves skiing. So it was mountains and snow and ski, amazing. And it was all of their favorite things. And it's on the wall, so you don't have to worry about dust. You don't have to worry about any holes in the wall. How amazing is that? And
I think it could be really amazing. It makes me really nervous though, Jen. What if someone was like, oh, like me, I'm wearing my true crime necklace. I'll help you bury the body, Morse code. What if someone's like, oh, I really love true crime. There's a mural with tombstone.
No, like she's been there for many years. All of their team has been there for many, many years.
It had to be approved though, right?
Yeah. And I think like they had talked about certain things. Like she just didn't like decide on what the mural was going to be. But how amazing is that though? It's really, really cool. Something different to do. Yeah.
And it's a fun investment in your team and hearing them and what they have to say. I can get behind that to a certain extent for sure. I guess I'm just I'm very particular.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. But I think, look, if we're talking about investing in our team, one last thing before we wrap is don't forget to thank that new team member for joining your team. So whether it's a handwritten thank you note that everyone on your team has signed, get them a little plant or a token of appreciation, or just get them something for their office, get them something for their windowsill or anything like that. You could be really cheesy and get a little, one of the little tooth pots, put a plant in it. I know. I did that yes, I can see it right over your shoulder. So there's so many different things that you can do to make it fun. Highlight your culture, show your culture. It's your first opportunity to show why they chose you.
And give them time to learn the practice.
Yes, absolutely.
Top tips. So, appreciate them for joining your team and allow them the opportunity to actually learn about how you do things.
Yes, ma'am. There you go. On that note, clocking out. Have a fantastic day.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you in 10.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with us on Back in 10.
If something made you laugh, nod, or feel a little more human, share it with a friend and make sure that you're subscribed.
You can also follow us on Instagram at Back in 10 Pod for more behind the scenes, updates, and probably a little chaos.
We're not here to have it all figured out. We're just here to tell you the things that we wish someone had told us.
And remind you that leadership doesn't have to be perfect, just real.
We'll be back in 10.